Hi, I'm Phil Palucha from Billionaires in Boxers, and you are about to engage with Up Level Your Communication, hosted by Miluna. Wow, this is going to be powerful. Communication is at the heart of everything that is good about business and about sharing with your fellow humans, and Miluna is phenomenal at helping you share that message and also interview some pretty special and amazing guests too. Check it out right now.
Welcome to Up Level Your Communication. I'm your host, Dr. Miluna Fausch. On this show, I will be interviewing some of the most interesting business people in the world. We'll focus on up-leveling your communication and leadership skills so that your voice can be heard and you can make an impact in the world. Welcome to another episode of Up Level Your Communication. My guest today is a powerhouse. She is a fashionista. She is a mother. She has the best laugh in the world. And she's the founder of ZondraTV. Joining us today, now, normally she's in Dallas, where her studio is. She's in Atlanta with family. You're going to love her as much as I do. Welcome to the show, Zondra Evans.
Thank you, Miluna, for having me. I've been waiting for this day. You know how much I adore you.
We have a mutual adore fest going on. I went to Dallas to her previous studio, and you'll hear more about that, to shoot a TV show with her. Now, folks, TV studios are not always friendly. But let me tell you, hers, you will be welcomed with open arms, open heart, savvy, intelligence, and grace. It's a very different experience. So, Zondra, there you were zooming along in your career. You had a lot of success, you told me, with Intel. And I think maybe other companies, I'm not sure. And then you received a divine message to start a TV network. Tell us a bit about your background and what led to ZondraTV.
Well, oh God, Dr. Miluna. It didn't, it's so crazy. And by the way, let me like fill in the blanks. I only worked for two major companies in 40 years. I spent 40 years in corporate America. I worked for Intel for 25 and DaVita for 15. And that totaled my 40 years. And I can tell you now, I didn't leave. I got the golden handshake from DaVita. That's what I like to call it, the golden handshake. And I started skipping the halls and I was passing out tissues to everybody else. And then I thought to myself, girl, what's wrong with you? You getting ready to lose a 6-figure job. And then I thought about it. It's because I had an exit strategy. But my exit strategy wasn't to be a TV talk show host or an executive producer or to own a TV network. That wasn't what I really wanted to do. I'm a motivational, inspirational speaker. I love a mic in my hand in front of my audience. And I'm a certified coach from one of the best coaching institutes in the world. And it's a Harvard of coaching. And so that's really what I left corporate America to do. And then one day I got a call and I accepted the call to become an executive producer and create a TV network. No training, no background. My degree is a business degree. No media, no communications, no broadcast. And now we're a multiple award-winning network.
Yeah. And it was an overnight success, right?
It was not.
No.
There is no such thing as an overnight success, Dr. Miluna. So, we can try to, I'm filming a new show right now, and it's called Zondra Unplugged. And it's the actual real story behind the last 7.5 years. I think people think that all of a sudden I just was risen up to be this TV star, and I'm not, it wasn't. And it's been hard, and it continues to be hard because I think anything worth having, there's sacrifice required. So but it's a great journey. I would not change not one thing. So, yeah.
Looking back, Why do you think you were led to television? What's in your heart around that?
That's an excellent question. I don't know that I had a heart around television, but I had a heart around telling the message globally. I believe that God has given me such an enormous message. Not so much, spiritual. It's spiritual, but it's really a message for entrepreneurs about how to actually get in this space and become successful at it. And some of the things that I learned that nobody told me about entrepreneurship coming out of a corporate environment. So I said, I've got a big message to help people navigate their journey. And I'm the woman for it. Give me a platform that's global and I'll speak on it. So I think that's what gave me the passion for TV, is that I can sit here like I am today in Alpharetta, Georgia, and hopefully this recording is going to reach hundreds of thousands of people over the next 2 or 3 years, or maybe in the next 20 minutes. I don't know how fast, but the point is the message is out there to help you navigate your journey, not just for today, but for the rest of my life and your life.
I love it. TV's the perfect vehicle. And my audience is millions. So millions don't hear this. I know you're going to hear your message. Yes, this show will be edited and launched in about a week. You'll be the first to know. And the message is, this beautiful message goes around the globe.
I love it.
Oh, Alpharetta, beautiful. One of my favorite places. Now, there's something about you which, well, besides your intelligence and beauty, is what I call extraordinary faith. Faith. You really, when I met you, I felt comfortable and I trusted you. And folks, when you meet Zondra, you'll just be welcomed in because she knows who she is and what she stands for. What is faith to you? What does faith mean? And what does it mean to you?
Yeah, that's a really good question because I feel like I'm a modern day example of what faith looks like. I believe that faith is when you are willing to allow God to lead you into unconventional spaces and that you trust Him to do it. Here's how I talk about it. I've always thought that I had been on a faith walk until I got on this journey. And then I really understood that faith is really when you have blinders on and that you can't see, but you can only hear and sense directionally what's next for you. So I walk around daily with no eyesight, but a lot of ear and heart, that I know exactly who and what I should be doing. And I listen to that. And here's the thing, Miluna, we all are born with intuition, but the world has taught us not to trust that. And so I've learned to trust my intuition and to hear very distinctly my next steps.
Oh, that's so gorgeous. I know our audience lifts the heart because we're taught, as you said, not only to ignore it and go externally, but not listen in the first place. And definitely follow it. Especially these women. What is up with that? So we're saying the inner voice leads you through the uncertainty, yes?
Absolutely.
You will get quiet, go into some silence.
Yeah.
What is the voice telling us our next step is?
And then I think, so let me say another piece about that. Because we could hear the voice or we could go inside and know what that is. But I think you have to be courageously intentional to do what you hear. It's not going to be popular all the time. It's not going to gain you immediate fame and fortune potentially, but potentially will over time. So are you willing and courageous enough to be intentional enough to do exactly what you hear? Most people won't. I did. And that is the answer to the success of Zondra TV Network. It is not me. I do exactly what I'm told to do.
Uh, the willingness. You make a great point. Many folks are not willing to do the right thing, the correct thing, the harder thing. It's true. Now, you just expanded your studios and moved to another part of Dallas, celebrating with the gala. So I got all dressed up for my friend Zondra because I knew she would show up looking gorgeous always. What has the studio expansion and this latest gala, which looked beautiful, the pictures, what has this meant for you to now be expanding?
Yeah, it is so surreal in so many ways. Have you ever had this kind of experience? To me, it's kind of out of body for me. When I knew that I was going to have to move, I didn't know where I was going to move. But if you remember, Dr. Miluna, my walls are like really rich purple eggplant. They're, that purple royalty look. And it's so crazy. Someone else on my team actually found the place. It was another producer found the place and said, I found the perfect place for you. And I went and looked at it. And when I walked in, the walls were purple.
No.
Yes, they were. And I was like, okay, this is it. I walked in and I felt like I was at home. And I knew then that was my next move. And so, it's a blessing, and it's so surreal because it's exactly the same color tones, but the space is so beautiful. We've got over 3,000 square feet, and we came from only 1,500. So, 15 to 3,000 doubled in size. I have an executive office. We have a separate makeup room. We have a separate area for podcasters. We have a separate area for the green room. And then we still have a studio that's huge. And so it's opened up so many possibilities for us. We could do live shows in that TV studio with a studio audience. We don't have to go anywhere else. We used to have a second location for that. Now it's all contained in one place. We can do fashion shows in that one place. We did a fashion show during the grand opening and had 80 people, sitting there literally, doing it. We had an auctioneer. So we could do anything. It's like anything that you desire, that studio can be transformed into that space for you.
Ooh. I love that you're now in one location. So much better. Full service. Fabulous. Now, your network features small business owners, entrepreneurs. What does having a TV show do for their business?
I love these questions, and I'm glad you didn't give them to me ahead of time. And I hate ahead of time questions. Just ask me off the cuff. I love this. I love that you would ask me this. What does it do for them? I'm going to use an analogy first. If I took maybe 10 or 12 years ago, it was a really big deal to be an Amazon best-selling author. I mean, people were like, oh my God, you're an Amazon best-selling author. Now today, a lot of people are Amazon best-selling author because we kind of figured out the formula, right? To be a best-selling author. So it doesn't have that gravitas that it had 10, 12 years ago. So if you look at TV production, becoming a TV producer has the same gravitas as becoming a best-selling author. Now, you might say, well, why is that? Well, because you get to adopt everything that the network has. So if the network is a multiple international award-winning network and you become a part of this TV production, you are now a international, TV producer, like the bestseller list. So you get to adopt those things. But the real reason why people do this, people don't wake up every day going, I want to be a TV producer. No, what they do is they say, I need to separate myself from the white and gray noise that's out on social media. And how else better can I do that than become a TV producer and stop giving my content away and produce it on TV if I'm going to give it away, but I'm going to always own that content. Nobody can ever take it from me or lose it because we believe in non-exclusivity. So people become a TV producer because it puts them in a celebrity space for their business so that they can charge a little bit more money in their own base services because they're a celebrity influencer. Anybody that can see you on TV and you become an overnight success and a star.
Love it. Yes, indeed. Guilt by association. I mean that in the best words. We have to be very mindful who we are associating with. The branding, as you said, it's huge. So they come into your international network, it's already a name. It already has a reputation for greatness.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about leadership. Your background is heavy on business and leadership. I know that about you. And you brought all those skills just to a different platform, the vehicle called television, which you and I happen to love because we love it. How can we cultivate heart-focused, integrous leadership?
Yeah. I'm going to tell you something that is so simple. Until you learn how to serve, you will never learn to lead. Leading is about serving. So if you have never served another man or woman's vision, how can you lead your own? And so I believe that leadership starts out with servitude. And so if you understand that and you understand the power of learning how to be good at serving, your leadership journey is going to be much richer. It's going to be fulfilling because you're going to understand that the real base of being a good leader is learning how to serve the people.
Serve the people.
Serve the people.
The gorgeous sentence right there. Serve the people.
Yeah.
Now, you're great on TV with the microphone, as you said, as a coach, a speaker. You're a superb communicator. So now this show is all about communication, as you know. How can we up-level our communication? What has served you so? I know being a great communicator has so served you in your life. Take us on that journey a bit.
You know, I don't know how much time we have, but I want to start out with learning to position your communication impromptu. And I think that we don't really learn that skill, but I got thrown into that when I started in Intel. I was young. I mean, I was really young. I was maybe 22 years old, 21, 22 when I started. So I'm like, okay, now listen, what do I do? I went to this presentation skills course and we had to pick a subject out of the hat and we had 10 minutes to prepare a speech and get up and talk about it. And mine was abstract art, which now today, that's the only kind of art I love and buy is abstract art. But at the time, I was a little girl, 21, 22 years old, and I had really never experienced abstract art. And so my hands were wringing wet. You would never think that I'm a public speaker today, the way things were happening. But I believe that you have to learn how to be an impromptu communicator. But I will tell you this. The only way to communicate effectively and to really be good at it is that you have to know who you are and you have to know why you're here and you have to meet people where they are and, not talk over them, not talk below them, but meet people where they are when you're talking, when you're communicating and know who you are. You got to know who you are.
Step number 1, know who you are.
Yeah.
Have you always known when you were a little girl, what did you dream of? And tell us a little bit about little Zondra.
Okay, I don't know, girls.
Still little, but about middle girl Zondra.
Oh no, little girl Zondra, you're making me laugh because I think of a story, right? When I wrote my first book that became a bestseller, I was so happy. I got a book written just by me, not an anthology, and it's a bestseller. And so I had this, book release party, and people came, and my cousin was there. And someone went up to her and said, "Listen, has Zondra always been this way? So charismatic, so full of energy, so, just in the front." And she said, "Well, yeah, she has. Because when we were little kids and we would play church, she was always the one giving the message as the pastor, and all of the cousins were the parishioners, and I was telling them how to live their life." So I think I've been doing this since I was 5. I give me the mic in my hand, and so I was slaying the people, I think I've been doing this all my life, Dr. Miluna. So I think I've always been in the front and wanting to be not just heard, but really make an impact in people's lives. I think that has been my journey my entire life. Even when I was 5 years old, I was trying to help people live their life, and I didn't even know how to live a life. But I thought I'd heard enough at the church service that I could tell people what to do. So all my life, this is who I am. Yeah.
Little boss lady leadership showed up early for some of it. I was bossing kids around as a little girl. Yeah.
You just know your journey. I'm telling you, people know their purpose at age 5. You could pretend. People pretend, Dr. Miluna, not to know their purpose, but you really do. And one thing that I heard about purpose last night that really moved my spirit, your purpose is not just this, it's this and that. This and that. Because we get caught up with a job and we think that's our purpose. No, that is this. But it's not that.
Ooh. Boy, does that conjure up wonderful thoughts and heartwarming stirrings.
Yeah.
Yes. You make a great point. We know, and then for me, I was told no so many times, and be a good girl and sit down and be quiet, and you can't have an opinion. Yeah. And I just turned down over the years. And part of my journey, tumor in the head, all sorts of things. I feel like I'm just now fully out there and working on that. And it's a different voice for me. My voice has grown, and I'm sure yours has too. Now, I had years of voice training, as you know, as a singer actor, but it's knowing who we are and practicing and being okay and willing to speak up and develop and grow. That makes all the difference, I think.
It really does. But I think, and I'm not trying to switch the interview up a little bit, but I want to talk just a little bit about what is happening, the dilemma. I think it's a dilemma about women that are seasoned, are feeling out of place, no longer worthy, no longer valid. I think that there's a big issue in the environment today. And what I want to tell anybody listening to this, tap into your divine greatness. It's all inside of you. You have everything you need to prevail. Are you willing to be a trailblazer and literally do maybe something that no woman or man has ever done before? We have the knowledge, the skill, and the ability. So I encourage you, tap into who you are and why you're here and go make it happen.
Oof. The heart challenge has been spoken, dear audience. You heard it here.
Yeah.
Indeed. And if you want to be on TV and you're in Dallas and planes fly there as well, Zondra, how can folks reach you? I think you have a special offer now. By the time this airs, I don't know that will be going on. So tell us what's happening. How can folks best reach you and connect with you?
Oh, Dr. Miluna. So first of all, you don't have to be in Dallas. So we gonna minimize that. We do virtual interviews, but here's the thing. There's nothing like being trained to posture in the media with lights, camera, and action. And so we provide that professional makeup, lights, camera, action, photo shoots so that you get good photos with great makeup on. We just do a lot more in the studio, but you can be virtual too. All you need to do is to go to beonztv.com. That is beonztv.com, and click on the link that says I want to be on TV, and that'll spin you right into my calendar, and we'll do a discovery call and figure out what really is best for you. There is not one size fit all. We believe that everything is customizable, and there's a good reason why, because you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and you're uniquely made. So everything doesn't have to be for everybody.
So easy to reach her. And that's a great business principle. Make it easy for people to reach you and do business with you. It is extraordinary how some companies make it so tricky. BeOnZTV.com, and it'll be in the show notes as well. Zondra, any parting words as we wrap up this incredible? You've lifted us up. I feel more expanded. I feel better. This is a result of being around you and your grace and your presence and your love. Anything else before we say goodbye for this particular episode today?
You know what, Dr. Miluna, I just want to say that now is the time. Now is the time to go ahead and do what you thought you could never do. I know that you think you don't know how to do it, but that's why we have a Producers Academy to teach you how to do it. But at the end of the day, now is the time. Do not let life circumstances define you. They only create depth in your character. So no matter what you're going through, it's only really refining you to turn out like pure gold. So I look forward to seeing you real soon. Schedule a discovery call with me.
Dear audience, I knew you'd love her as much as I do. Zondra, what an honor and a pleasure to have you on this show today. Thank you. Thank you. For the audience, we'll be back soon with another episode of Uplevel Your Communication. We'll say bye for now. Thanks for watching. Be sure to share our show with the key leadership at your company and with your friends. If you know in your heart that you're ready to uplevel your speaking, stage presence, and impact, visit MilunaFausch.com to schedule a complimentary call. You can also purchase my book and our podcast music, Strong Body.
Thank you for enjoying this content by Billionaires in Boxes. If you would like to be a guest or a host, be sure to get in contact with us at billionairesinboxes.com.